Star Wars is one of, if not the single most, iconic movie franchise of all time. As conceived by George Lucas, his original 6-movie saga captured the hearts and minds of fans worldwide for decades. But did you know that before Lucas sold the franchise to Disney, there was going to be an official Star Wars cartoon that was set to be a comedic, borderline parody look at the events between the original and prequel trilogies? Hello everybody and welcome back to Canned Goods, the show all about the TV shows that we'll never see. And today, we'll be covering the development and cancellation of the Star Wars animated sitcom, Star Wars Detours. Our story begins in June of 2009. Right after receiving a Visionary Award in Chicago, Illinois, Sandtroopers.com was able to catch up with Star Wars creator George Lucas, and in the interview, when asked if he would ever bring a new Star Wars to the big screen, he stated, "Well, we're doing television now, but again, I've told people before, Star Wars, the features, is really the story of Anakin Skywalker. That's the whole story, and of course, he's dead now, so there's no place to go with it. And so now with Clone Wars and a live-action show I'm working on and another animated show I'm working on, we're able to explore different avenues of Star Wars." And a different avenue for Star Wars it was. Sometime after the release of Revenge of the Sith, Lucas, who had always been aware of the seemingly countless Star Wars jokes and parodies, decided to take a crack at developing a project that mocked his own material. He began his work on this animated series in earnest, which he affectionately called Star Wars Squishies, a not-so-subtle reference to the classic animation technique known as squash and stretch. When it came time to look for collaborators, Lucas reached out to Robot Chicken creators Seth Green and Matthew Senreich, whose work with the franchise Lucas was a big fan of. The first time we'd hear about the series in any official capacity would be on April 5th, 2010, when the yet-to-be officially titled show was announced as a comedy. And in addition to Seth Green and Matthew Senreich working on the show, it was revealed that it would be directed by Todd Grimes of Back at the Barnyard fame. From there, work continued in earnest at Lucasfilm Animation. The show began life with the concept of Seinfeld in space, giving a peek into the mundane lives of regular people around the Star Wars galaxy, right down to Dexter's Diner serving as a stand-in for Monk's Cafe. To keep every episode fresh and ever-changing, it was decided to split each episode into 3 distinct 6-minute-long chunks, with each chunk being tied to one of 3 locations: Coruscant, Tatooine, and the Death Star. The original plan was to have no major existing Star Wars characters. The most recognizable faces slated to appear were the likes of the bounty hunters from Empire Strikes Back, alongside new creations like Biff Tarkin, the son of Grand Moff Tarkin. But the writers couldn't help themselves, and before they knew it, comedic versions of pretty much every big-name Star Wars character became the show's main cast, with even Billy D. Williams, Anthony Daniels, and Ahmed Best reprising their roles. Lucas was intimately involved with the development of the show, continually pitching ideas to the writers' room and spending hours with them every day. For him, nothing was sacred. As long as it was set between episode 3 and episode 4, and was appropriate for all ages, he was open to doing pretty much anything for the fun of it. His suggestions were often offbeat, regularly challenging the writers and artists to break convention, encouraging them to render the Star Wars galaxy in as many different aesthetics as possible, and just cherry-picking what he liked best. It made for a final product with a distinctive and sometimes even intentionally clashing art style. The next time the public would hear anything about the show was on August 24th, 2012 at Star Wars Celebration 6, the mega convention for all things Star Wars, at the super secret Star Wars panel with Todd, Seth, and Matt. The show was revealed, now titled Star Wars Detours, and it went over well with fans, especially when George Lucas made an unexpected appearance the next day to talk up the new project. By the time the reveal had rolled around, the Detours team had a full 26 episodes completed, along with another 13 in production. All they needed was a channel willing to air the show. This project obviously held a lot of promise, and unlike most of the content we cover on this show, there was tangible, completed work ready to be released. So that raises the question, with so much work being done on the show, along with the cultural appeal of Star Wars, why did it get canned?
Today, I am proud to announce the Walt Disney Company is acquiring Lucasfilm, the global entertainment company founded by George Lucas and the home of the legendary Star Wars franchise.
On October 30th, 2012, George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to the Walt Disney Company for over $4 billion. Disney acquired everything, from Lucas's story outlines for a Star Wars sequel trilogy to in-progress video games and TV shows, including, of course, Detours. The next time we would hear of the series' fate was on March 11th, 2013. The official Star Wars website posted a statement that laid out what was to become of Lucasfilm Animation. In addition to teasing the show that would become Star Wars Rebels and announcing the winding down of Star Wars The Clone Wars, it was revealed that Detours was being postponed. Reason being it didn't fit with Disney's strategy, especially in the run-up to the release of a new Star Wars trilogy, to have people's current perception of the brand be that of parody. On September 17th, later that same year, Seth Green was doing a Reddit AMA where somebody asked him what ever happened to the show. He had this to say. So there's actually been quite a bit of talk about this, but Detours is just on hold currently. We have 39 finished episodes and around 62 finished scripts. But that entire show was created before the decision to make more Star Wars movies, so our show, which was created by George Lucas, is an animated sitcom in the world of Star Wars. So we had a lot of conversations with Kathleen Kennedy about Star Wars, not just in the next 3 years, but the next 30 years. And when you're in as privileged a position as we were to be able to work on Star Wars content with its creator, you get a great sense of responsibility to the whole. I was introduced to Star Wars as a child, and it was without any ironic or comedic lens, so I saw Darth Vader as scary, and I saw all of those messages very, very clearly. We didn't think it made any sense, in anticipation of these new movies coming out, to spend the next 3 years with an animated sitcom as 3 generations of kids' first introduction to the Star Wars universe. I do feel that Detours is a timeless bit of entertainment. Media distribution is changing so quickly, so dramatically, that can you even imagine what distribution of content will look like in 5 years? In a day and age when Netflix series are nominated for the top accolades TV has to offer, what's to say what it will look like when the new Star Wars movie comes out? So Detours can sit on a shelf until the Star Wars movie comes out without losing any of its luster, because what we've created is very funny, very smart, and like I said before, timeless. In 2014, Green and Senreich would continue to affirm that the show would release eventually. But then in 2015, one of the voice actresses for the show, Felicia Day, mentioned in a live stream that to her knowledge, the show was canceled.
I was recording a voice for Star Wars Detours, which I think got canceled because okay, this is a good...
And for the next few years, everybody just kind of accepted that Detours was never going to see the light of day. That was until June of 2018, when Disney quietly renewed the trademark for the series. What some saw as standard legal procedure to protect the trademark, others started to speculate that the finished episodes might just be dumped onto Disney's yet-to-be-named streaming service. But that announcement never came. And what seems to be the final word on the matter came on September 27, 2019. In an interview with Collider, Seth Green essentially repeated what he said in 2013. Adding that, from what he knows, it seems that Disney isn't interested in pursuing Star Wars as a comedic franchise, at least for the foreseeable future. And with that, it seems that Star Wars Detours is unofficially canceled. It really is unfortunate that the show was canceled, because a show like this, that mocked the franchise, that was also made by the franchise's creator, something like that had never been done before. Though, out of everything we've covered on Canned Goods, this is the rare exception where I do believe there's a legitimate chance that we will see this show someday in some form, just because there's so much of it that's actually complete. But that's the story of Star Wars Detours and the end of yet another episode of Canned Goods. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, have a beautiful day, and stay Hammers.